Okay, so recording starting now. So thanks everybody for joining so far. I'll keep clicking, letting people in as they join. Sorry about the mix-up. I'm still getting used to this Google Meet functionality. Essentially, we wanted to use video a little bit more this season and invite Meg back, who won last year, as many of you know, just to talk about the game that's coming, and then hopefully throughout the game we can talk to people when they get voted out, and we can do a little bit of analysis about what's going on. So Meg, thanks for joining.
Hey, my pleasure. Happy to be here. While you guys were figuring out the technical difficulties, I made myself another drink, and it is bad.
It's gross?
Yeah, disgusting.
Well, I'm sure it'll go down. You can make another one, and it'll go fine. Yeah. So the reason why you're here, obviously, is because you've been through this experience before. There'll be some changes this year, but just in general, like, what do you remember most from your 6-month probably experience of playing Survivor Hamilton?
Yeah, I am a person who doesn't. I always say that I don't have the competitive gene. I do not like games. I am not a person who's going to play games. So I don't know. I just kind of thought this would be funny to do for a little bit. And then I was very surprised that I got very into it. It took over a lot of my life for months, 6 months. My best friend Stevie was in the game. We've never been closer. We made a lot of interesting new friends. A couple of enemies, I think, are still out there hating on me. And that's fine, but it was really fun.
And you're on the Fuego tribe.
Yes, of course.
Right? Yes. With some players who are playing this season.
Mm-hmm. Happy to see that there's some returning characters.
You ended up Jordan is. We'll go through each of the some of the castaways in a little bit, but Jordan's somebody who you went all the way to the final 3 with.
Mm-hmm.
You elected not to bring him to the finals.
Yeah,
I believe so.
Yeah. Well, that was a bit of a girl power move. It was nice to see some just a final 2 of just the ladies.
Did you have to make any big moves, or did it feel at all like there was any real Survivor like gameplay that you had to make? Or
well, you gotta be a fucking liar. It's part of it. You will have to lie. It's going to be uncomfortable. I remember one of the first lies I told, and feeling
the game's
not.
Over, so you can say what it was.
What?
The game's over, so you can say what that lie is.
I think the first lie I told was it was to Peter or Brian. I can't remember, but it's somebody that we liked, and I was like, I don't know, but. It's sick. You feel sick.
Feel gross.
Yeah, but it's part of it, and then you kind of lean into it. Mm-hmm. But I don't know. I didn't do a whole lot of lying. It's just some truth bending, and you gotta have a sliding scale of morality in Survivor Hamilton, I think.
Mm-hmm. And did you pretty much just chat with everybody, like just text with everybody? Was that pretty much it?
I think I really like to see what everyone is bringing. I don't know. It was fun. I feel like I talked to pretty much everybody that I was playing with anyway.
And was there some pretty heated moments sometimes especially on Fuego initially, once the tribe was kind of figuring it out and your main alliance was forming, and there were some people who were not necessarily in it?
Yeah, I don't know if anyone knew where they stood. I feel like everyone had an idea of whether they were on the inside or not, and even if I was, I won, obviously. So, but even if I was in a position of power, I wouldn't have known it, because you feel vulnerable the whole time.
Yeah. So in talking to you, it was pretty clear that I felt like you were always in a pretty good position, like until the merge, where there was.
Because I got jokes. I can keep a group thread going. Yeah, be chatty. keep flossing.
It took a long time to learn that, I think. What was I gonna say? Do you remember what it was like when there was the tribe swap, and you ended up with Alex, Tyler, and Steph? on your tribe and they took
Yeah,
out?
I don't know. This was a long time ago.
What
But
years ago? I've never felt fresher.
yeah, I should have refreshed. I do remember that. We did lose Graham, right?
Mm-hmm.
On that, I remember being frustrated at Graham for making what I thought was a stupid decision.
To join your tribe instead of the other one?
No, is that what happened? Or maybe I did agree with him then.
Because he could have picked to join back with you guys or the other tribe. Either way,
I don't know.
survived all that. I don't think anybody voted for you all game long until the end.
Yeah, I didn't. I was a little salty even that I did get 2 votes against me at the very end because I thought people were just in a mood.
Yeah, because you definitely played harder.
I don't know. I wouldn't have been mad if Rebecca won either. I mean, I think a lot of people would have been more mad if Rebecca won than if I won.
Any advice you give new players or even returning players?
Talk to everybody. And like, don't take it that too seriously, but like, I don't know, have fun with it. I don't know. I had a lot of fun with the players that were just like Luke came in as a wild card, giving no fucks. That was funny and made the game interesting. I don't know. Don't be afraid to shake it up.
Right. That's good. Yeah, that's what I like too. Right. Is I'm trying to talk to everybody as the game's going, but I like the people who let me in and talk to me about the strategy, and the people who take it not necessarily too seriously, but really try to enjoy it instead of treat it like a hassle.
Yeah, have some boundaries too. Like, it's not the whole world. I know it's going to feel like the whole world, especially because there's literally nothing else going on in the world. But like, we don't take some phone breaks, everybody.
So we want to look at these new tribes.
Yeah.
Take a look, and I was going to talk a little bit about some of the changes this season, but I'm going to sit down with each of the tribes on Sunday for an hour and talk about the game. So I'm going to also figure.
I'm getting roasted for swearing. Was I not? Is there rules to this?
No, it's sorry. It's a Pittman. Excuse me. Just being a pain. Just joking, buddy.
That's weird. I hope everything's okay.
So, can you see my screen?
Yeah, looks good.
Yeah, perfect. So, which tribe do you want to talk about first?
Let's look at the olds.
All right. So we got Kobara here.
Yeah. We could really do a lot better with representation on this. I don't know who to talk to about that. Maybe next season we can talk about it. But looking a little homogenous.
I tried pretty hard to get. No, I did not try that hard actually, but I asked you and Stevie, and I asked Kate and Alex, and they declined. All 4 of you declined. And I didn't figure Rebecca would play again, and I knew Claudia wouldn't play again, and that's pretty much all of you.
That's okay. We'll see where it's our second time.
Well, especially like the thing is I worked I think we did a good job on the new tribe, right? Like you said.
Yeah,
but,
new tribe looks great, looking great. So
anybody you want to single out first?
I'm interested in how many people. It looks like there's more of the Fuego. Is that true or is that not true?
What do you mean? Oh, more the returning players?
Yeah.
Well, it'd be one. So Brian, Chris, Graham. No, definitely more.
You know what I'm really hoping for this year is more spreadsheets between Peter and Elliot. I very badly want to see more Google Docs going out. I want to see these two. I want their friendship ruined by the end of this.
Well, it's a funny thing, and I'm showing Elliot here because he's the one who's actually he got to the finals of the second one that was Survivor 2, and he beat Peter by 1 vote last time around. So we can start there. They have this rivalry, right, where they've played. I think just any time they play sports or play games, but specifically in Survivor Hamilton, they get pretty apparently vicious with each other. But I'm still not sure if I believe it or not. You know what I mean? If it's all
I think, like, you don't believe it. You think they're both in on the joke?
Yeah, for sure. Although then they vote each other out. They actually end up voting against each other. So I don't know if there's much to that. But
do you think it bleeds over into their IRL friendship, or do you think it stays in the game?
I think it stays in any game. Like if
Okay.
they were playing a game together, I'm sure they would be be exactly the same. Bunny Rabbit just ran by.
Aw. Well, I like that for them. That's nice. I love a bromance. Maybe the bromance prevails.
Well, and part of me is thinking too that they will that the two of them could cause kind of the beginning friction in that tribe.
Brian.
Like everybody is basically friends on that tribe, or could be friends. Like everybody knows each other. There's like 1 degree of separation at most between everybody. So
I wouldn't stand a chance this year. No fucking way.
Yeah, just well, this is the thing is yeah, there needed to be more of you, and I did think you would probably end up being a target. I think Chris told me that you would be a target.
He said that every year I've ever played this game with him, and you know what? I'm doing fine.
Yeah, well, that's true. You didn't go home with an idol in your pocket.
That was a tough lie.
That's true. What I would say is that I'm hoping that because there's so many people I like in the tribe, these two included, but I don't really want anyone to go home. So if they can just manufacture the drama, it's already there.
Yeah.
That's good for me. Everyone else.
So who do you think are the villains of the returning tribe?
The villains.
Yeah.
That's a loaded question. Although that's what we're here for. I would say it depends on how you quantify that. I think anytime a player is like really good, I tend to kind of they kind of veer into villain territory.
Do you think I was a villain?
I think that depending on who you asked, you would be considered that. I think I wouldn't classify you guys that yet.
Yeah, it's done 2 years ago.
That's true. It doesn't feel my point is that you could say that Kyle, who won the second one, which was literally 13 years ago, that he would be viewed as like a favorite, maybe just because he's connected to pretty much everybody, but not necessarily super close, so he could fly under the radar a little bit. Plus, he's been through this, so he's beat 39 other people.
Yeah, glad to see Silas is back this year. Hopefully without an agenda. Hope he's, I hope this could really be Silas's year. This could be his time.
I would say he's probably of this tribe the closest to like veer into outright villain category, just because the Hielo tribe just got pretty they were pretty heated, I think, all game long when things kind of didn't go their way, and I don't think it was any individual's fault. I think it was more just that the whole group was just unhappy with the way things were going, and they all fed into each other.
The weeks when it's not going in your favor, you want to think that you'll just have a regular life and it barely touches you. Sometimes it bleeds over. Those weeks are pretty rough. No one wants to go to tribal council.
Exactly. It's in this season, I wonder if it will be much different because it's two votes each week.
Mm-hmm.
Because you would have a lot of days that would go by with nothing happening, and that just lets you either kind of decompress altogether, or maybe makes the strategy just go overboard.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Whereas this is going to be literally like twice a week, so every couple of days there's going to be a vote, and so there's not a lot of time in there to go back and forth. Maybe the easy decision will be made more often.
Well, it will be interesting to see if some of those last season lines remain, or I don't know, maybe Paul will look at his phone this year. I don't know. Is Paul still working?
Oh, I believe he's still working. He said he was still working hard, so he didn't even necessarily want to play. He was like the last registration, basically. I had to convince him because I had some other people some new players who had registered, and I felt really bad turning anybody down who had registered, even though I was over how much I already had.
Mm-hmm.
So right at the end there, I kind of had to loop in 1 or 2 extra people, and then I had to
get by the old versus new. Would it have been easier if you mixed it up, or what?
If I just mixed people all around?
Yeah.
I just knew from the very beginning that I wanted to do new versus returning. So So that was always in mind. And so every time, so I was like, I can get as many new players as I want for the most part, but I have to have a returning player to match. And eventually I kind of ran out. So Paul and Jordan, I kind of got at the last second to join.
Well, that's interesting. Interesting to see.
Mm-hmm. And then so in terms of like rivalries, you have the Peter and Elliot, but then you have Chelsea and Cowan, who
I don't know how Chelsea could be anyone's enemy though.
That's what I think always. But at the end of the day, what happens is, what ends up happening is they just play.
I don't get it either, Chelsea.
Enthusiasm.
Yeah.
I think, and I think that enthusiasm makes them threats because other people don't necessarily put as much into it, or they think that they want to be the ones who are in charge.
Yeah, I don't know. I think Chelsea's someone that you can trust. I think she is a player with integrity who has been around the block a couple times, knows who's who and what's what. I don't know. I think she's valuable. We'll see what happens.
I agree 100%, right? Like, what's really important, especially early in the game, is winning those challenges, right? Because if you win the challenge, no one goes home, right? So the people who can get those answers quickly, but then also notify everybody, and you can shed some light into this, is there was some streaks there where your tribe won a lot of challenges in a row. Did you feel like that was just the other tribe screwing up, or did you feel like you eventually kind of got a good system of messaging each other when a new challenge went up?
Well, I think it's probably gonna, like, I feel like those first couple weeks will probably look this year like they did then, because I think out of the gate, they came out more organized. They were in contact and had a system for getting updates when they went up as soon as they did. And then we were left kind of scrambling to catch up. And then once we realized what the game looked like, and I think that this year they have an advantage of actually knowing the intricacies and like how a light coding can help you in this, and how like getting updates from the website, how to do that fastest is very valuable. So I think once we kind of caught on to what the game was, we were able to get in those challenges. And then I think like that you'll probably see that this year with the noobs too. And like very, very quickly you'll see who's going to get into it and who's going to get really competitive and who's, I don't know.
I think we ended up getting a lot of competitive people, even from the people who've never played this game before.
I'm not a competitive person. Yeah, it's all my fault.
But I think this year, like a lot of the people who signed up for the first time, like they signed up because they said they were competitive, or because they love group competitions and they love experiments like this. And so
I did it because I think it's so jokes to see how into it you get, and you get so frustrated. You get so bad.
I was just having a meltdown there when this video wasn't working to start. It was I think Sasha wrote "Thank God for Sandra." And then it's like true, because it would have been I wouldn't have figured anything out. So I'm glad we did that. But in terms of you mentioned something important about like people starting to figure out the code in the system and kind of get an advantage that way by seeing kind of what I had posted most recently. And so that, just for the people who are listening, that won't be a part in this game at all. So obviously I'm gonna post the challenges when I post them, and if you're going to react quickly to those, that's going to give you an advantage. But I'm not going to hide anything on the site, and I'm not going to be posting anything really in a hidden place on the website. Because last season, the people kind of did some clicks and found a page with a hidden immunity idol. This year, hidden immunity idols and other advantages will just be given out during challenges. Not during the immunity challenges, but I'll do some similar to immunity challenge. I'll post something on the website, and the first, I'll put the instructions there, but someone will win a reward by doing it that way. And so at least everyone gets the opportunity to win, and also everyone will know that, hey, an idol was just given out and I don't have it, right? So somebody does, and let's try and figure out who it is. And that's what I'm hoping we can get some paranoia that way.
I just had like a very visceral flashback to like really intense. Okay, well, if we vote for this person, then we'll vote for this person. We think this person has an immunity idol. We have no reason to think that they have an immunity idol, but what if they do? So that's really, have fun with that. Enjoy that.
Well, in the vote that Graham got eliminated, you guys split your vote against Alex and Steph.
Oh.
And Alex had 2 idols.
Oh, fuck that. Steph. I wonder if there's going to be a Seth who probably isn't even maybe real.
I think that I ended up chatting with her. I believe she was real, but Alex actually got one of those advantages before the season even started because we needed extra players, and I basically posted on the website whoever refers 2 more players will get an advantage, and Kate and Alex both got an advantage before the game even started.
Oh, wow!
Right, and so that when that
come back, she was a worthy adversary.
Yeah, I think that they were certainly excellent competitors, and I'm wondering, and you guys had this real rivalry. I think these 2 all-female 3-person alliances on both sides really came together and ran the game, and then basically butted heads up on that one fateful day when Rebecca went camping.
Fuck.
But before that, there was like tie votes and revotes. There was advantages used that saw like Luke get sent home and Silas got sent home on the vote, the week where there was the extra vote. And so there's a lot.
Sorry about that.
Well, and there will be some changes throughout the game a little bit earlier. I think last season I also kept the 2 tribes apart for so long that it seemed like there was a real, not hatred's not the right word, but it was like it was real.
It was hard, and like things could have been different too. There was one point I was so close to getting Alex over on my side, but yeah, it was too much. It was tough.
And then once Silas got eliminated, it was basically just you guys finished top 4.
Yeah.
So anyone else here on this returning tribe? Obviously, you have 2 pitmen. So Kyle, I didn't mention that. So Kyle's Chris's older brother.
Yes.
So you got them, and Chris is tight with a few of these other guys.
Mm-hmm. We got a couple. We got Jordan and Graham. We got some familial connections coming in.
Yeah, Jordan and Graham are cousins.
Yeah.
My brother and
Graham.
These 2 handsome gents.
Yeah, Jordan got pretty far in that game last year. Pretty far in that game.
All the way to 3rd, but he didn't really. He worked. He had to participate in the whole game, but I don't think he necessarily put the same amount of energy in as you guys did.
Nor would I advise it.
Nobody should put that much energy in.
Yeah. No, he was a good sport.
So they got a chance, but we'll have to see. Like, is Jordan going to play his own game, or is he going to play through Graham?
Mm-hmm.
Right. And I think Graham probably doesn't want me like talking about that too much. No, everyone's listening, but at the same time, I think you mentioned a good point, a good piece of advice, which was just talk to everybody.
Yeah.
Right. And I think once you can kind of
get along with.
Sorry.
See who you get along with. See who you want to be. Who you wouldn't mind losing to.
That's right, and you and hopefully if you built enough of a nice connection with everybody, you're not the person who has the early target on your back, right? Yeah. It's like, it's like, I talked to Graham or I talked to John House, so it's like they're okay, but I never talked to Silas.
Yeah, right? I don't think you should talk to Cowan, maybe.
Cowan, he's gonna be sitting there like, no, don't say anything. Don't. I'm sure Cowan feels like he already has a target on his back because of how quickly he went out last.
I was just joking because he seems like he can take it.
Well, and he can take it, all right. One thing I was saying to Callan the other day, we were chatting, and I was giving him advice, not specific, but more just for him, right? And then I was thinking, well, maybe you should stop taking my advice, because last game, I'll tell him, kind of give him some things to do or just some ways to position it, and then I was saying like, hey, maybe tell your tribe this or do this. And then I immediately looked in the thing and he wrote like verbatim in the group chat what I told him to say. Like he's just doing it for me, for my benefit.
You didn't like that even a little?
What do you mean?
Well, I don't know. You get this sort of like Jeff Probst complex where you kind of want to pull strings,
The only time I want to like not necessarily control the game, right? Because I schedule everything that happens ahead of time, right? So like some people on like Kate and Alex thought I cheated by saving Chelsea when she got voted out, right? And it was like that week was in the schedule. Was I happy it was Chelsea and to a lesser extent Paul that got saved?
Sorry, Paul.
Right? Was I happy? Yes, of course, right? If it had been, you know, people who weren't paying attention, then that would have been a waste of a twist. But it really worked, I think. But it felt like because there wasn't as much transparency into how the game was going to be run, that people figured that it was kind of being run on the fly based on the decisions I wanted to make, and that's what.
But let it be known that Mike Hamilton plans this and thinks about it a lot. What are we looking at time zone wise? Is everybody still in? Stevie's asking me about the stream. By the way, I don't know if you made it public how to get in if you weren't in any group chats.
You could maybe share the calendar invite with her.
I'll just fill her in later.
No, I have a link here. So I copied it. I'll just text it to her.
Okay, it's not important. What was my train of thought on just now?
No, I don't know.
Time zones. Yes, thank you, Chelsea.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. So you got Dave Cox is playing again. So that's good. So he was voted out first from his tribe. John was voted out first of yours. I don't know if you noticed, but I called him. I just want to jump to this because I think it's anytime to mention that John came last place is fun for me. Yeah, last place.
Oh.
Last place, John. Sorry, but Dave wants to definitely prove this year that he didn't that the time zone isn't going to be an issue for him. But then I went ahead and I made all the challenges within this time frame, which he's 5 hours ahead. So it's actually going to be a bit harder. But you know, you put a you know, if you're willing to wake up, you know, between 11 and midnight every night, then or nights a week. At least you know the other nights you're going to be free to do whatever you want.
I am just going to say on behalf of all of last season's people to this season, enjoy that. Enjoy your sleep and not having to worry about refreshing some dumb page. And also that we are in this situation where you also won't get in trouble for refreshing some dumb page in your office, which I did.
That's true.
I remember having a driving lesson and having to pull over and answer a challenge during a driving lesson. So if there was any question about whether I won by mistake, I was really dedicated. I had my friend who was teaching me driving, like, to let me know. And then it was a big, like, emergency, doing a little, just in Vaughan. Anyways.
I was looking through, because I put some screenshots of those texts, I think, in the post that day.
Yeah. And just as a follow-up on that, I did book my G2, and I got an email just a couple days ago saying that my G2 test was canceled because it was in 2 weeks from now. So will I ever get my license? I'm 32, probably not.
Going the whole cycle all over again.
Yeah. Second time. I got my G1 twice. It's
well, there's nowhere to drive anyway.
Yep, true. Well, I don't know. I'll never get to just drive around.
But I usually will now take any opportunity to drive around. It's like, you got to run before done. It's me. And I'll drive for an extra 20 minutes just to kind of be out in the world.
Must be nice. Okay. Anything else that you want to say about the olds?
I don't think so at this point.
Anyone not get a shout out that feels like they want one? Jonathan, nice to see you back. James, I don't know you, but you seem great. Amanda, love to see a friendly lady in the game. Wishing you all the best.
Yeah, Amanda played the Survivor Hamilton 2 a long time ago. Before that, 11. But
11? Okay.
She's old school, right? She was one of those old ones, so we figured that made more sense. Unlike like Damien, who I completely forgot was in that game, and I put him in the new tribe.
Oh.
And then I literally, the day I posted.
You wouldn't have had to get Paul in the game if you had paid attention, but that's okay.
Well, the day I posted the tribes, Chris Pittman messaged me. He was like, yo, Damien was in our game. And I was like, I knew I would have made some so stupid decision or made a mistake like that.
Oh, hey, Stevie.
Hey, Stevie.
This makes me think Ruth probably didn't get it. She probably would have come.
Well, I did put it in our group chats, so on WhatsApp. So next time we'll get it more smooth. But yeah, so this is the new tribe. So I got some family connections in here. For the most part, everybody at least knows one other person.
I like that.
So at least you got somebody to work with as a starting point.
And Damien does have a bit of an edge here as an alum, although the game has changed. Game has changed quite a lot.
It's changed a lot, and I did he did have the shirtless picture. Jordan, I believe, had a shirtless picture.
My first impression was like, okay, we have a Luke. Yeah. We've got somebody who's positioning himself as maybe.
Let's look at that. Let's look at that beautiful face. So he did send me other pictures after, be like, hey, do you think this would be more appropriate? And I was like, no, it's fine. This one works. And Sasha looks topless, but only because in her picture, only because I cut off about this much and you still couldn't see the shirt she was wearing because the bathing suit, because it was so low as it is.
Did any of the new people join under the premise of how you sold it as a dating concept?
No, I didn't. I just mean no slut shaming.
Who's slut shaming?
I was.
If there's a Survivor Hamilton wedding, I will officiate. Actually, you'll officiate, but I'll sing if you want. Actually try and saw me.
I had to get all these images the same dimensions, and so it ended up was either cutting more of her head off. What were you saying?
I was wondering if anyone joined Survivor Hamilton under the premise where you tried to sell it as a dating concept.
Well, there was the Bachelor singing show was on, and I was like,
I'm watching it. We can talk about it another time. I don't need to. I need a lot more time than I can.
Not good. But yeah, there isn't really, Damien, I believe, is single, so there you go. So I fulfilled that prerequisite.
All right, everybody, scroll down. Let's read about Damien. How do you know Damien? Do you mind giving? Is that okay? Can you give us context for how you know these people?
Yeah. I went to high school with Damien and Wayne and Sharon.
What's Mariska's deal? What's her deal?
I work with Mariska.
Cool. So did you talk about it last time?
She doesn't know anybody in the game.
Cool.
I don't even think that she has no idea what she's got herself into. I just said, hey, you want to join this game? And she said, yeah. And then so she's in, and I've sorted it all out. But she's very, very personable, and I could see her if she, wants to get into the game, like messaging with people, she'll go far.
Cool.
It's nice to have, 5 women on this tribe.
Yeah. Happy to see Jim in the game. You know what I'm kind of hoping for? This is what I want. I want to see some Succession level, weird family dynamics, sort of like HBO power struggles, legacies, that kind of stuff.
There will be that for sure. He's taking it really seriously. He's heard about this for 15 years, however long I've been doing different versions of this game. So this is the first time he's getting to play, and obviously he's an outlier. Him and Ross are the outliers in terms of age for everybody else.
How old's Ross?
I think he's 19.
19, rock and roll, cool.
Or teenager. He's not. There's no way he's on here. So he's not going to be on. But
I don't know any teens right now. No teens in my life. I don't know what they do.
Just this one. Just Ross. I don't
know him.
Yeah. Why would you know? Why would you know? Ross is 21. So he's always when it's a kid is always older than you think they are.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'm not talking to kids.
I don't spend a lot of time talking to kids either. So Ross is 21, so he's not. I've called him a teenager a number of times.
Yeah.
He's not. So
he could have a drink in the U.S.
Yeah, that's true. He goes to school Kitchener Waterloo, so he's probably had lots of beers.
I hope April can make it to the merge.
Why?
So that her and her husband can get in some really intense power struggles. That's part of the Succession thing. Oh yes, I love this.
I like Succession very much, by the way. That's a really good show. It's dark though. It's like I watched it and it's like, well, that was just a lot of people yelling and swearing and being mean to each other.
What about cousin Greg though?
Oh, Greg and Tom Wamsgans. are pretty much the best. I don't know. I love that show. That's not what I'm talking about. Greg the Egg. But yeah, so yeah, April. Yeah, so obviously, April's going to come in. We'll see how dedicated she gets, how much she goes into the game. I don't know. You got
to see how the dynamics will change, because it will probably be different. Like, because it's moving so fast, people will probably not go into the merge with such hard tribe lines. And then interesting to see how these relationships play out. Like, do you want to be having like allied, like in alliance with your dad, or not, or your wife? Imagine comes out of this. Graham comes out of this with like a strained relationships with his father and wife. That's actually what I want to see. I want to see Graham and his rock bottom.
If everybody can leave the game with a stranger relationship with the other people that they played with, like they all kind of came out of it and it was like got to decompress because it was just weird. And then kind of everyone, like when they see each other after it, like there's just some real weight there to the future meetings because of all the drama. That would be good for me.
I really liked seeing a lot of IRL Survivor fans on the new.
Yeah, you're right.
People who are like into it. I think that there might be some interesting strategy.
I think the only people who said they weren't into it at all on this tribe were David and Mariska.
I found David's profile to be very it seems like a very friendly person.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, that's true. Some people took it more seriously than others, right? Like you have
like somebody who would take it seriously, somebody that you could have a conversation with and you wouldn't mind. Also, like, keep in mind you are texting with people, you are talking to these people a lot for the whole thing. So like, think about people that you want to talk to. Think about people you want in your DMs. Because if you don't want them in your DMs and your DMs, you're gonna have a shitty month. Trust me.
You've been there. Like I was gonna because you have Elliot, right, who says he's a fake news advocate. He doesn't take anything seriously. I'm not even sure if Elliot does any of the things. If I get messages from other people, I just assume they're Elliot pretending to be me. But like Sheree just like wrote the nicest things in the world.
Yeah.
Happy to be here and happy to play
that's really sweet.
So I'm excited to see kind of what he could do in terms of just, even though he may not know as many people in the tribe.
Where do you know this person?
I worked with Sheree at IBM a lifetime ago, feels like. But we would have just talked about he signed up really quickly.
Okay. And who's Sharon?
So Sharon I went to high school with, so she's friends with Chelsea and Tyler and John.
Oh no, Tyler this year. Is he mad still?
Tyler's in this game as like the lone member of his alliance because no one else wanted to play anymore. At the end of the day, when you and they're roommates, right? So he might be watching right now. But I think that Tyler's got lots of things going on, and last season was just, for some people, was more drama than others, and I'm hoping to make this a lot less. There's no controversy this year, and everything be really.
No controversy. I mean, we'll see. There's
really here. You guys are just in for the worst experience of your life.
Cool. Great to see Tyler.
That's true. Well, at the end of the day, last year there were some tough decisions to kind of keep the game going, and all that stuff's been ironed out this year. And check the rules. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. We're just gonna blow past that. Who else? How do you know this 21-year-old? Who's Ross to you?
So Ross is my stepbrother, I guess.
Oh, cool. Nice.
Yeah.
So that's
my dad remarried, and Ross is now my.
Do Ross and Jim live in the same household?
Sure.
Is that okay to ask?
Sanders yelling at me. No, not really. Ross has his own place when he goes to school. Well, what school? Who's at school right now?
That's what I mean. Okay, well, be a cagey weirdo, I guess.
I'm trying not to be. The fact is, I wanted to reveal everyone's votes. Like I wanted each week to be able to everyone to know who voted for who, so that you at least know what's going on and you can try to work within the group. They try and work within your group, whereas because everyone's remote, so nobody knows really what's going on as well as they could. So I was hoping to do that, but now that I think that was just too much. But I do want to be able to talk a little bit more about what's going on in the game and just be a little bit more open and honest about it.
Okay. Well, how does it in Real Survivor? They don't know each other's vote, but they can sort of infer it, right?
Right away, they know. Yeah. Basically, there's only so many people in the game, and
are producers telling them? Do you think, or no?
No, I think that everyone's just a bit. The way that the real game of Survivor is played now is it's pretty much week to week, like anybody but me. Like the alliances all shift, and it's like there's a few targets, and it kind of jumps between them, and everyone's just like happy to vote anybody out as long as it's not them, right? And I think in that type of game, it doesn't matter. Everybody knows who votes for each other, and they're just trying to like they let bygones be bygones, start again, right? In the old school version of the game, you would have these strong alliances where it's like everybody knows we're together. And then if you want to make like some backdoor move, it's really important that it's a secret. Right?
So what do you think? What are your forecasts for this one? Are you seeing a short game or a long game? What do you recommend?
I think that anybody but me strategy works really well. I'm hoping that there's a little bit of there's some people who are screwing up in the challenges, right? Early, then that's a good enough reason to vote somebody out, right?
Yeah, in those early days, because it is really hard. It's hard because nobody wants to be that piece of shit that's like, I don't know, what about this guy?
Like, yeah, especially when you don't know everybody early, right? Like, it's pretty hard to just start writing people's names down, especially if you don't know them at all.
But it honestly, it does come down to the person you have talked to the least.
That's what that's why I talk to anybody.
Yeah. Right? How do you know Andre?
I don't.
Oh, you don't know him?
Yeah, so there's a couple people in the game that I haven't met at all.
Wow.
Which is nice, as long as they pay attention to it.
Yeah, so is Andre coming in with, you don't have to say who, is he coming with another player or just from a friend?
He definitely was referred.
Yeah.
Right, by somebody on either side, on either tribe.
Interesting.
Which is pretty much everyone in the game, at least. I was like, Marishka's the only person who just pretty much I know.
Yeah.
I think Sandra's probably met her, but she's on the game. But in terms of the game, like just me.
What about Dave?
Again, kind of a referral.
A referral. Okay. And Ian?
Ian is my cousin's husband.
Okay. And John?
John is a friend of some people in the game. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. This is gonna be fun. All these people do not know what they're getting into.
My whole thought was you were gonna get people from the returning tribe to bring people into the new tribe that they would hope to get reunited with. Right. Like I initially thought I was gonna have all the returning players refer one person. Right, it was like everybody like a blood versus water. They do that.
Ooh, I like that.
Right? And then so you basically have like your ally on the other tribe. But the thing is now, like you have all their people on the returning player tribe all know each other anyway. Right?
And how do you know Wayne?
High school.
High school. Oh wow. Okay. Wow. Good.
Yeah, and Wayne says he played before, and so that was probably one of those like prehistoric games that didn't even have. It wasn't even posted online.
God, I'm so curious what that new tribe chat is like. I wonder who, like, if you can be the one who kind of brings it together. That's a good start.
Yeah, like
these first couple weeks.
Well, it's just like the real game, right? Real game of Survivor. Like, there's somebody can step up and be a leader.
Yeah.
At the beginning.
Don't want to be a leader. That was it too, is that I was never the leader. To be honest, Stevie is 100% my Survivor brains. I'm just all smoothing it over with jokes.
Well, you had the social game, right? And she had the strategic game.
Yeah.
Right? And that's kind of the way it works. But typically, the social game wins out at the end because the jury is pissed off at the other person, but she didn't make it. You probably would have beat her in the end anyway.
It was on her birthday, so I don't want to say that.
It felt really bad, but no, Steve's birthday, I feel like a douche saying that, but I think that's kind of the way it works. Is
I don't know. It's pretty hard not to root for Stevie. She's such a sweetheart.
I would have voted because I knew that she was maybe making more like the decisions in the back end, but then I knew that the two of you guys were playing like the same game.
Yeah, nice, Jim.
Stevie left. I'm not playing. I know. What else?
I don't know. I'm really interested to see what happens with the noobs. I would say keep an eye on the website. Like, I think that a lot of people are rooting for the new people just because it's a fun underdog story. I think there will be a lot of interesting dynamics on both. But I don't know. Do you think that there's any immediate villains off the top of your head looking at the noobs? Anyone who might be a shit disturber?
It's tough to just call people out just like that when they've just been nice enough to join my game.
Okay.
Here's what I would say though, and I like to call people out on stuff like this, but like Andre says that his interests are golf and stock trading. To me, that's like very like boiler roomy, very like
a little American Psycho, to be honest.
Yeah, exactly. And so and also on top of that, competitive, love strategy, and social politics and stuff like that as well. So I can see, him bringing that competitiveness to the game. Using Kitchener Waterloo, similar to Damien. So they could kind of join each other on that. I don't think there's very, very many villains in this game. I don't think there's very many villains that play Survivor Hamilton anywhere. Like even like last season, there were some people who got heated in specific moments, but that's not going to happen this year. And if it does, it'll just be between all these people who know each other on Kobara anyway, and people backstabbing each other.
Well, I think it's going to be pretty fun. I look forward to really following along and being invested, but like not having any anxiety attached to it. I think that's what I'm most looking forward to. What are you most looking forward to?
It's gonna be hard enough to keep up, I think, with the game this year. Like I haven't, a bunch of days a week, but I think I'm excited as well to see how the new tribe like figures it all out on the fly.
Yeah, me too.
Because the returning tribe is already, everyone I'm chatting with is already like telling me different targets. Like they've already told me like 2 or 3 different people are the targets, or they're saying that they're the target.
The new tribe's saying that?
No, the old tribe is.
Oh, okay. New tribe, listen up. That's what's going on.
Like the old tribe is already telling me that like I'm a target, or like not me, but like they're thinking they're a target, or they're thinking, this person's talking behind the back.
Those poor Survivor Hamilton 2018 people all have PTSD. I'm so sorry, you guys. You're doing amazing already. Just have a good time.
That's exactly right. Like, don't take it too seriously. It's going to be a lot of fun, but it's not. It doesn't need to take over your whole life. It probably will. It's going to be on and off, right? This is why you want to win the immunity challenges, right? Because you basically win immunity. If you win immunity on a Monday, it gives you Tuesday, Wednesday off. Basically, now some people will still be figuring out their strategy and stuff like that, but it gives you at least until Friday not to have to vote somebody out. And if you win that one on Wednesday, then you get like a whole week without having to vote somebody out. And that really helps you bring the tribe together. It's when like you're consistently week after week voting people out that it gets, I think, a little bit hard, and people's feelings can sometimes get a little bit hurt.
I just relived it. I went through it all in my head just now.
Who was the hardest person to vote out?
I don't remember. I think I've blocked it all out. I don't know. If I had to vote Tyler out, I wouldn't have relished that at all because I really love Tyler. Mm-hmm. And like anyone that I knew in real life, like Chelsea and Paul, Paul actually was pretty easy because he was such a wiener. That whole game.
I know.
But I don't know. Yeah. Brian never got voted out. He got out on rocks.
That's right. And that was a big week, man. I'm excited for those types of things. I'm excited for those things you can't really anticipate that the tribes end up determining, right? And definitely, like, I'll do like some swaps and things like that in the season, so you'll get these two tribes of people mixed up with each other, and that will happen. I think last game it happened too late, like I said, that it was still like us versus them the whole time.
Listen, Brian is really in this for a redemption story. You know, there was a whole time when I really thought Brian was going to be it. I thought Brian was going to win last year.
Because he was playing both sides.
Yes, he was playing both sides. I think he had a hard time with the lying.
I don't think so. I think he loves it. Only he relishes it. Like it all. Well, you know, when you get sent home without getting voted out, right? Like that's a good reason to come back. You know what I mean? Like Kyle never got voted out because he won his season.
Right.
So Kyle and Brian, you know, are coming back, and they've never been voted out before in this game. So it can't happen for both of them. So at least one of them is going to get voted out this year.
I don't know. Maybe this is the first year in Survivor history that there's a tie. Although I don't know that I would care to watch that show.
You can't have ties. No, ties are ridiculous. I think I'm assuming the existing tribe, the new. I keep saying existing, but like Kobara is going to win a bunch of the first challenges. I would assume so. But at the end,
maybe give them the first one, but I don't know. I want to believe that these people. If you say that we got some competitors coming in, I want to see it.
Well, and the interesting thing too, right, is it's like COVID. You're only as strong as your weakest link, right? And so,
it's like COVID. Are you trying to compare this to the global pandemic that's happening? It's not like that.
What I will say is that we can get as healthy as possible, right?
Yes.
Florida is still doing whatever the hell they want to do, then no one's going to get fixed, right?
Yeah.
Eventually it'll come back around. So the point is your tribe can be really strong, but if Paul isn't showing up for your immunity challenges, right, then all 11, let's say there's 11 people in the tribe, you guys could have done great, but if you're, you know, the other tribe has 12 people who do a good job and you have 11, then you lose anyway.
Yeah.
So anybody can lose.
Well, we're in for a ride.
So what do you say about, you know, assuming we get all this video stuff done, interviewing people when they get voted out?
Oh yeah, let's do it. I can't wait to hear how this experience is for other people. Even like, especially once we hit that merge, I think there's going to be a lot of really interesting dynamics. But even early on, this is looking like a pretty fun game.
Very exciting. So, you know, so we'll decide if we want to do once a week or we want to talk on Wednesdays and Saturdays. That might be a lot. I think it's a lot for anybody, but we'll.
I mean, we can talk. We can talk just us if you want, but we can loop
it doesn't have to be long, right? It can just be, could be 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Right? Something like that. It doesn't have to be a full length thing. But does anybody have any questions for Meg while we still have her?
I don't think so.
There's still, you know, 17 people on here.
Yeah. What do you think, guys? Are you interested in my insight? Do you think I have an interesting perspective?
Well, who do you think? Okay, well, let me ask you. Who do you think?
Why didn't I want to play? I didn't want to play this time because I won last time. And that's it. I will come back. I would come back for an All-Stars game someday, maybe. But to be honest, I don't really like games generally. I like to be the person that's like drinking wine and commentating about it. And then I like a sneaky win, but I got mine. So now I'll just sort of. And who is a joy to vote out? Chris Pittman was the joy to vote out.
And that's why he's going to vote you out.
Yeah, because he wanted to vote me out, and so did Ian Pittman. Yeah. So, and that was all carried over from from the Survivor that I don't think really took off the ground because there was some issues. There was, again, an issue with traveling. Thank God we're in this situation where nobody gets to travel, because last time I had given you my vote in advance and then I went traveling and then somebody from my tribe tried to change my vote and it caused a lot of issues. But that was like, I don't know, 20 years ago. What was the last?
Do you consider yourself a villain?
Myself a villain? No, I really don't. I don't consider myself a villain because I never lied if I didn't have to. And I was really just trying to keep spirits up the whole time. I was just trying to like have fun, and like the whole thing is about creating connection and seeing how far your connections can take you. And in my case, it took me to the very end. Nobody was more surprised than me. So the next question, how important alliance is? I think that it's incredibly important. And I think my alliances, I'm trying to think if they stayed pretty steady throughout the game. I think so. Yeah, I think right out of the gate, I thought I would not be playing with Luke. I thought Luke was my enemy and we ended up being homies. But
you had a big group right away, right? Because you had you had Stevie and Rebecca, and you had Graham, Jordan, and Claudia.
You know what? I guess another piece of advice is find the people who are going to be passive in the game that will just do what you say.
That's one extra vote.
Yeah. So that helps because they want to be safe. So the people who are less interested in participating, if you have them on your side, it's a lot less work.
And the only caveat is sometimes those people, and we saw that sometimes with Rebecca, is that like those people, you get a vote, but
sometimes liability.
Right? They might not be there for the immunity challenge.
Yeah.
Or tribal council.
Yeah.
And really screw you. So alliances are important, but you know, sometimes just not being the target, I think, really works as well. Who would you do? Is there anybody, you're looking at the tribes here, is there anybody you would predict you think is going to win, or you think will go really far?
I don't know.
Or based on last game?
Based on last game, I don't know. I'm really interested to see how the competitive players from last year, if they can go into it with like I don't know, leave last year or 2 years ago, and see what we can start fresh. Let's all start fresh. And I think that could, like, if we're coming into this with bitterness, I don't think it's going to serve you, I think is what I want to say.
Unless you're Elliot or Peter, in which case that bitterness serves all of us.
Actually, that's a really good point.
That's true.
Yeah.
And so hopefully that's real, and that really will cause drama. But as far as I know, they'll probably also be like in the same alliance and also working against each other from. There you go, right?
I love it. I'm here for it. It's good TV.
So you didn't pick anybody though.
Oh, I know. I don't want to put anyone on blast.
We do.
Like I don't want to put a target on anybody. Because I know.
You to.
What?
I want you to.
I don't know. Let's see Jim take it to the end. I want to see. I don't know. Maybe we'll have a whole Hamilton ending. We've got with I don't know. I've been watching a lot of Succession, so I don't know.
I think you mentioned Brian earlier. Did a good job last time playing both sides. I think he can successfully do that as well.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm voting for Ross as the dark horse.
He's really one of those people who doesn't show up. But I don't believe that he'll be able to respond quickly to the challenges, because everything I've done to get him into the WhatsApp group and to get him signed up to the game is
busy looking at TikToks.
That's exactly what people are saying, and that's probably true. That's what his tribe thinks. So the thing is, early in the game, you can't survive that.
No.
If you go a couple weeks and you're the hardest person to get in touch with, then you will absolutely get voted out, and you should be voted out.
Yeah, I'm trying to think about who I would want on my side. I don't know. I want Mariska on my side. I want this fresh blood who might be down to play. I want I don't know. I mean, I would want Silas on my side. That guy plays to win. But So
He does. He plays the troll as well. He mentioned that in his thing that in his bio that he wants to play, but he also likes to stir the pot. And I think that people who like to stir the pot end up getting in trouble in this game because that's usually when everybody, you have this plan, right, that everyone thinks is solid, and then and if you're the person who changes it last second, people get pissed off at that because now they're spending an extra half an hour on the phone.
Yeah, that's true. Let's everybody be mindful of everybody else's screen time this time around. We're all just doing our best. And I don't know, it'll be interesting too, because I think we're living in a world where our mindsets are just a little maybe wired a little differently, maybe more wired for paranoia and or community. Who knows? I think it'll be interesting.
I think people will get stir crazy, and I think the paranoia will take over a little bit. And I'm very
I know
excited
people are saying they're here to win and not make friends, but let's just remember, I don't know if there's a prize, and I'm pretty sure a lot of you know each other outside of this.
And I still, a prize is something we still got to sort out with the group. It's like I'm not just going to shell out a bunch of money myself, but if people want to, put money into a pot and have that go, then I think that works. Or if you don't put money in, then you can't win any money. But if you do, then you can. I don't know.
I don't know if I like that part, but I mean, we'll figure it out.
Yeah, but that can still be figured out. But probably only in the next few days. Yeah, I think it's a good start.
Yeah, really great chatting with you, and nice to see. I really liked being able to see everybody's comments as we were chatting.
Yeah, me as well. I think we'll probably use the same format.
Yeah. Well, I hope everyone lets us know what they think and what they want to hear when we're chatting. And this is nice.
And feel free to keep texting me. I do have to eat some dinner in a little while, but keep messaging me. I love when anybody messages me and tells me what's going on or gets me in. Thanks, Sandra.
She's still working on the gnocchi.
She's doing the best. Gets me in the loop because I'm not going to spoil anybody's secrets, but I do want to have some things to write about and things to talk about in the video. So let me know what's going on.
Rock and roll.
That's right. Okay.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe, everybody.
That's right. Now look for our YouTube channel.
Yeah.
We'll be posting that soon once we get this all sorted out. Okay.
Yeah.
Take care, everybody. Oh, you know.
See ya.
Stop recording now. Bye.
I'm not going to jail for this.